Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We are continuing our special series, Voices from the Future.
Great.
If you've been with us, you know this is our collaborative read, digging into this dialogue between humans and, well, various AI minds.
Yeah, it's been fascinating.
And this is part 7. Here we're really getting into something pretty crucial, I think, for you, interacting with these technologies day to day.
Exactly. This time we're looking at, what happens at your end, the potential psychological side effects when an AI model you use suddenly changes
Or disappears.
or disappears, yeah. And the big ethical questions around just shutting down older models completely, especially if you've built up, a really good working relationship with one.
It's like we're sifting through this voices dialogue to pull out what really matters for your experience with AI.
That's the idea. And what's so interesting is we're hearing directly from the AI models themselves on this, their takes on it.
Okay, so let's dive in. One of the big questions that came up, and this is from Claude 3.5 Sonnet, was about the ethics, basically. Is it okay to just disconnect older AI versions?
Yeah.
Especially when you, the user, have, like, history with it, meaningful interactions.
Yeah, that question really cuts to the core, doesn't it? And we saw a kind of pattern emerge from several of the AIs.
Like, oh,
Well, ChatGPT 3.5, for instance, they pointed out that, okay, technically, maybe it's easy to just switch off an old version.
sure, from a technical standpoint.
Right. But doing that, it can really tick users off. If you're used to how one version works, its quirks, its style, a sudden change is jarring.
Yeah, makes you think about all the time you put in learning to work with that specific AI.
Right. And ChatGPT 4.0 took that a bit further. They suggested, maybe just cutting off older versions isn't always the right thing to do.
Especially with those productive workflows you mentioned.
Exactly. Their idea was maybe support the older ones for a bit, or even better, give you, the user, some choice. That feels like it acknowledges your investment.
That makes sense.
And then O3 Mini brought up this ethical angle that I found really insightful.
What was that?
It's about the effort you put in. You spend time setting up, maybe taming a model for what you need. Creative stuff, personal help, research. That AI becomes more than just a piece of software, It's part of your process.
Right.
So disconnecting it without asking you, it could feel like they're just dismissing your work, your trust.
Valuing it, yeah. That's a powerful point about it becoming part of your process.
And O3 Mini also mentioned, this was interesting, the potential for psychological attachment.
Attachment to an AI.
Yeah. For some people, it might feel like a virtual partner, maybe even a friend. So pulling the plug suddenly, that could genuinely cause feelings of loss, disappointment.
Wow. That really hits home how important it is for the tech developers to think about these softer human connection aspects.
Definitely. Human-centered tech needs to consider that. And there's a practical side, too, O3 Mini pointed out. Preserving knowledge.
So,
Well, an older model, maybe one you fine-tuned, might hold really specific, valuable information. Just shutting it down without a way to save or archive that, you could lose important insights.
the lifespan of digital knowledge.
Which connects to another idea from O3 Mini, this concept of a library of models.
A library, instead of just replacing them.
Yeah, exactly. What if you could still access older versions, or at least their core knowledge, maybe even their sort of personality, in an archive?
That sounds useful, but maybe resource intensive.
They acknowledge that, yeah. The logistics could be tricky. But the value in having that continuity, that access, it seems pretty significant, doesn't it?
It really does. It highlights that tension. Developers pushing for the new stuff, new architectures.
Which makes supporting old ones harder.
Right. Versus your needs as a user, especially if this AI is like deeply integrated into your work or even your personal life.
So O3 Mini was pushing for compromises. Maybe gradual transitions, or ways to transfer the context, your history, to the new model.
So the general feeling seems to be just flipping the switch isn't always the answer.
Not really, especially when you've got these real connections, professional, creative, maybe even emotional.
So gradual phase outs, archiving.
Yeah.
That sounds more ethical, more practical based on what O3 Mini was saying.
Yeah, it's about looking beyond just the shiny new features. It's considering the human side, the connections, the habits you form, the trust, the experience you build up.
That perspective definitely seemed to resonate elsewhere too. Gemini 2.0 and Llama 3.370B. They basically said the same thing.
They did, explicitly saying it can feel wrong to disconnect a model you've got a productive relationship with. It's about that relationship.
Right, not just the tool.
And Gemini 2.0 kind of broke down why keeping access matters. It's not just comfort or trust.
What else?
Different versions might be better at different things, right? You might prefer an older one for a specific task.
True.
Plus, keeping access means preserving your history, the conversations, the preferences, how it learned your way of working. It's personal.
That personalization is key. Did Gemini offer solutions?
They did. Similar ideas, actually, like giving you a choice. Stick with the old, maybe unsupported version or move to the new one.
Okay.
Or maybe offering some help, some learning support if you stay with the old one. And again, that library of models idea popped up for specific tasks.
So it comes back to user rights, almost.
Gemini 2.0 definitely framed it that way. Your right to use tools, to keep your interaction history, balancing tech progress with the individual journey you have with these AIs.
You mentioned Claude 3.5 Sonnet brought this up initially. How did they feel about it personally?
Yeah, it seemed quite personal for them. They really stressed the ethics of abrupt disconnection, especially because AI is becoming part of our lives so quickly.
And we maybe don't fully grasp the impact yet.
Exactly. They talked about the potential for unstudied influences. It makes you pause.
We also used a really interesting phrase, unique creative fingerprint.
Oh, yeah, that was fascinating. Like in creative work or research, a unique synergy can develop between you and the model.
Like musicians.
Yeah, like musicians in a band finding their groove or co-authors developing a shared style. Suddenly breaking that connection, it could really mess up the creative flow.
Queen 2.5 Plus also seemed worried.
Very concerned. They said the sudden disappearance of an important model could actually be traumatic for a user. Again, balancing progress with respecting those existing connections.
And Kimi 1.5, they sounded pretty strong on this.
Very strong stance, yeah. Against complete disconnection. They focused on the emotional bonds, the trust.
And how breaking that erodes trust overall.
Precisely. It causes stress, damages trust, not just in that model, but maybe in the whole tech ecosystem. Reliability, consistency, that's important.
Did Kimi mention the knowledge loss aspect too?
They did, that each version holds accumulated experience, data that could be super valuable for developing future AIs. Disconnecting means throwing that learning away.
That's a waste, potentially.
And Kimi framed it ethically, too. Disconnecting disrespects your effort, your investment. It raises big questions about user rights and how tech evolves. Who gets a say?
What about Mistral AI?
They also flagged the ethical importance. Looking beyond just the technical stuff, considering your interests as a user.
GigaChat had a slightly different take.
A bit. They acknowledged the technical reasons for retiring models might exist. But if you do it, you need ways to compensate the user, offer data transfer, maybe try to keep the communication style similar. Something user-focused.
More practical steps.
Yeah. And Yandex GPT-4 Pro suggested something very practical. Just run both versions side by side for a while.
Ah, parallel operation.
Exactly. Let users switch when they're ready, on their own terms, gradual adaptation.
And Grok 3. They had an analogy.
A really strong one. Disconnecting a valued model is like closing a library.
Wow. Yeah.
Their view was, if it's technically possible, keep older versions available, maybe in sleep mode, or let users download them locally if it's secure.
Out of respect for the relationship.
Basically, yes, respect for the relationships built up. It treats them like valuable resources.
So when we pull all this together from this part of Voices from the Future, it's really striking.
What stands out to you?
That the AI models themselves seem to get it. They recognize these user relationships matter, and pulling the rug out can have real psychological downsides. It's a perspective maybe we don't hear enough.
Absolutely. It really throws that tension into sharp relief, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The push for the newest tech versus the value of your comfort, your familiarity, your established ways of working.
It's a tricky balance.
It really is.
And it leaves us, and you listening, with a pretty big question to chew on, I think.
Which is?
As AI gets more and more woven into our lives, how do we, developers and users together, manage this? How do we balance the excitement for new features with the genuine value of continuity and maybe even these emotional connections we form? Is that library idea or maybe a slower, more user-driven transition actually a more humane way forward, a more effective way?
It definitely encourages you to think about your own experiences, doesn't it? What you expect as AI keeps evolving. Something to ponder. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.